Okay, so you've learned a little bit about the sort of years and months leading up to World War II. This next unit then, goes from summer of '39, um, again up until, as I said in video one, up until late 1941, early 1942. A couple things just to review a little bit. I think that uh, a lot of people talk about stopping Hitler. Could have it been stopped before? Um, and then blame, the Prime Minister of England, Chamberlain, for appeasement. And that's a fair criticism. Well, it's somewhat fair. Here's the problem, though, is that, at the time, nobody really in France, nobody in England, and certainly nobody in the United States wanted to fight another war, right? So the politicians were sort of, echoing or sort of mirroring public opinion. Now you could say, yes, but shouldn't politicians at times, you know, despite public opinion, do what they sort of think is the right thing? Sure, but that's also a sort of convenient excuse for a politician to do something not popular, right? That, well, this is the right thing, and history will sort of, prove me right or something. So, that's fair, but that's always sort of a crutch you can use, right? The other thing I'd like to point out, too, is that, so anyway, that's, I always find it sort of, obvious, the sort of vile that some people talk about Chamberlain, what he, and then here's the other problem. It's not as if the war wouldn't have happened. If Chamberlain sort of draws a line in the sand and says, we won't give up Czechoslovakia. We won't allow you to basically take over all of Czechoslovakia. People say, oh, maybe Hitler couldn't have been stopped. No. Hitler was still going to take Poland. The war would have just started a few months earlier. Now maybe that makes something better. Maybe that makes, I don't think it really would have made a difference, if you sort of stand up and say, we're not going to allow you to remilitarize the Rhineland. People say, well, maybe Hitler could have been. No, we now know that a sort of replaying of World War One, in some ways, is what Hitler wanted. Right? They wanted to refight World War One in some way, and except, of course, with Germany winning this time. So, I in the end, I don't think appeasement really was all that. I don't think it did that much. I think the war would have just happened a little bit earlier or a little bit later. You weren't going to stop Hitler by saying, no, we're not going to allow that. Oh, okay. He was going to take what he wanted to take, whether by force or whether you gave it to him. So anyway, I always find those, again, those sort of people don't really know very much about the war, but they, will talk about that. And they're really, really passionate about it. And it's just one of those things, I think, if you think through, you say, is it really, sort of as monumental a failure as people say? And I would say, I don't think so. Like I said, it wouldn't have mattered. The war would have happened anyway. Again, maybe worse, maybe better, who knows? Okay. Again, this first section, or the next section, you'll be going up into the first few years of the war when things really look very, very bad for the Allies. Good luck.